Love is everything, Boris. I want to meet some man and scale the heights of passion. Some man who embodies the three great aspects of love: intellectual, spiritual, and sensual.
Well, there's not too many of us around, but it can be done.
So many women settle cheaply.
I know, poor things.
They marry for money.
Money? Well, money.
But I tell you, I feel as though my life would be wasted if I didn't love deeply with a man whose mind I respected, whose spirituality equaled mine, and who had the same, lustful appetite for sensual passion that drives me insane.
You're an incredibly complex woman.
I guess you could say I'm half saint, half whore.
Here's hoping I get the half that eats.
Boris.
Yes?
I have a confession to make.
Yes?
Ever since you and I were little children, yes, I've been in love with your brother, Ivan.
Don't mean that. Ivan? You're kidding. He can barely write his name in the ground with a stick.
He has true animal magnetism.
Animal magnetism? All that talk about some perfect love and you're hot for Ivan?
He kissed me.
Any place I should know?
It warmed the cockles of my heart.
That's just great. Nothing like hot cockles.
I think he's going to ask me to marry him.
But he's a gambler and a drinker. He's got a Neanderthal mentality. Don't get me wrong. I love him like a brother, just not one of mine.
What?
You're praying for Ivan?
Yes. Your husband. I loved him, as you know.
I wanted you to have some of his possessions.
How kind.
I kept his sword and gold watch. But here, I'm giving you his mustache.
I'll cherish it.
Also, some string. Ivan saved string.
I know. It was one of the reasons why I loved him.
I understand that. I loved him for his string, too.
Anything else for me?
I thought we should divide his letters. Do you want the vowels or the consonants?
His vowels. You keep the consonants.
Life is unbearable.
Fortunately, it was a French jail, so the food was not bad. My family was allowed to visit me.
Remember that nice boy next door, Raskolnikov?
Yeah?
He killed 2 ladies.
No, what a nasty story.
Bobek told it to me. He heard it from one of the Karamazov brothers.
Oh, he must have been possessed.
Well, he was a raw youth.
Raw youth? He was an idiot.
And he acted insulted and injured.
Well, I hear he was a gambler.
You know, he could be your double.
Really? How novel.
Son.
He's sleeping with the firm of Truskov and Tuskov.
Natasha, to love is to suffer. To avoid suffering, one must not love. But then one suffers from not loving. Therefore, to love is to suffer, not to love is to suffer. To suffer is to suffer. To be happy is to love. To be happy, then, is to suffer, but suffering makes one unhappy. Therefore, to be unhappy, one must love, or love to suffer, or suffer from too much happiness. I hope you're getting this down.
I never want to marry.
Wheat. I'm dead. They're talking about wheat. The question is, have I learned anything about life? Only that human beings are divided into mind and body. The mind embraces all the nobler aspirations like poetry and philosophy. But the body has all the fun. The important thing, I think, is not to be bitter. You know, if it turns out that there is a God, I don't think that he's evil. I think that the worst you can say about him is that basically he's an underachiever. After all, you know, there are worse things in life than death. I mean, if you've ever spent an evening with an insurance salesman, you know exactly what I mean. The key here, I think, is to not think of death as an end, but think of it more as a very effective way of cutting down on your expenses. Regarding love, you know, what can you say? It's not the quantity of your sexual relations that count. It's the quality. On the other hand, if the quantity drops below once every 8 months, I would definitely look into it. Well, that's about it for me, folks. Goodbye.